The phone glowed on the kitchen counter, its screen a beacon in the dim morning light, buzzing with a notification that wasn't meant for me. Meet me at the usual spot. 8 p.m. Don't tell him. The words seared into my brain, each syllable a shard of glass. My hands trembled as I set the phone down, my wife's phone, the one she'd left behind in her rush to meet a friend. The air in our Miami condo felt thick, the ocean breeze from the open balcony door suddenly cold against my skin. I stood frozen, the hum of the fridge and the distant crash of waves filling the silence where my heartbeat should have been. Lila and I had been married 5 years, a whirlwind of love that burned bright until it didn't. Lately, she'd been distant, her laughter rarer, her eyes skittering away when I asked about her day. "Stop asking about my plans," she'd snapped last week, her voice sharp enough to cut. So I stopped. I gave her space, convinced myself it was stress. Her new job, the late nights, the way she clutched her phone like a lifeline. But that text, those words, they weren't stress. They were betrayal. I sank onto a bar stool, the leather creaking under my weight. My mind raced, replaying every moment I'd ignored. The work dinners that stretched past midnight. The perfume I didn't recognize clinging to her jacket. The way she'd flinch when I touched her, then cover it with a forced smile. I wanted to believe it was a misunderstanding, a friend's bad joke, but doubt gnawed at me, raw and relentless. Who was he? Me? Someone else? The questions churned, each one a fresh wound. I could have called her, demanded answers, but something held me back. Fear, maybe, or the desperate hope I was wrong. Instead, I waited. The day dragged, each tick of the clock a hammer against my nerves. I paced the condo, the polished hardwood reflecting the Miami sun in mocking cheer. Her yoga mat lay abandoned in the corner, her coffee mug still warm in the sink. Every detail screamed normalcy, but the text screamed betrayal. When Lila came home, the door clicked softly, like she was trying not to wake a sleeping beast. She froze when she saw me on the couch, her phone in my hand. Her eyes widened, then narrowed, a flicker of guilt chased by defiance. "What are you doing with that?" Her voice was low, almost a hiss, but it trembled at the edges. "I saw it," I said, my throat tight. "The text. Don't tell him." "Who's him, Lila?" Her face crumpled for a split second before she straightened, tossing her hair back like she could shake off the accusation. "You went through my phone?" she countered, sidestepping the question. "That's low, Ethan. Even for you. Don't turn this on me." My voice cracked, anger bubbling up. "Who's the him? Who are you meeting at 8? She crossed her arms, her lips a tight line. "It's not what you think. It's a surprise. For you." Her words sounded rehearsed, flimsy, like a script she hadn't practiced enough. "A surprise." I laughed, bitter and hollow. "You're sneaking around, hiding texts, and I'm supposed to believe it's for me?" Her silence was louder than any confession. She looked away, out toward the balcony where the ocean glittered under the setting sun. The air smelled of salt and betrayal. "You don't trust me," she whispered, but it wasn't a question. "Should I?" I shot back. My chest ached, love and rage tangled in a knot I couldn't unravel. I wanted to grab her, shake her, make her tell me the truth, but her eyes, those eyes I'd fallen for, held something new. Fear. Not of me, but of being caught. She grabbed her phone and stormed to the bedroom, slamming the door. I followed, my pulse pounding in my ears. "Lila, talk to me," I shouted, banging on the wood. No answer. Just the muffled sound of her voice, low and urgent, on a call. I pressed my ear to the door, catching fragments. "He knows. I can't tonight." The world tilted. I stumbled back, my vision blurring. She was covering her tracks right there, while I stood on the other side of the door like a fool. I could have kicked it down, demanded the truth, but what would that solve? The truth was already clawing its way out, sharp and unstoppable. I left, grabbed my keys and drove, the Miami skyline blurring past, neon lights bleeding into the night. I ended up at a bar on South Beach, the kind of place where secrets drown in whiskey. My phone buzzed, Lila calling, texting, begging me to come home. I ignored her. Let her feel the silence she'd given me. Hours later, I stumbled back to the condo, half drunk, half broken. The lights were off, but the balcony door was still open, the curtains swaying like ghosts. Lila sat on the couch, her face streaked with tears, a suitcase at her feet. "I'm leaving," she said before I could speak. "Not because of you. Because I can't keep pretending." Pretending what? My voice was barely a whisper. She looked at me, her eyes raw, stripped of lies. I love someone else. I didn't mean for it to happen, but it did. And I hate myself for it. The words hit like a punch, knocking the air from my lungs. I wanted to scream, to beg, to ask who, why, how I wasn't enough. But all I could do was stare at the woman I thought I knew. Her face a stranger's now. Who is he? I finally asked, my voice breaking. She shook her head, tears falling. It doesn't matter. It's over. For us. She stood, dragging the suitcase toward the door. I didn't stop her. The door clicked shut, and the silence swallowed me whole. I sank to the floor, the ocean's roar the only sound left. In my pocket, my phone buzzed. A new message from an unknown number. She's with me now. Let her go. I stared at the screen, the words a final blade. Somewhere in the city, Lila was starting over, while I was left with the pieces of a life I thought was ours. The Miami night stretched on, endless and cruel, and I wondered if trust, like love, could ever be rebuilt from ashes.